Former Deputy National Security Advisor for Dick Cheney, Steve Yates, and retired U.S. Air Force Brigadier General John Teichert. Thank you both for coming on. Steve, to you first. I mean, we're talking about a week from yesterday. So Thursday, it's a quick deadline for this 28-point plan. What do you think? Is it workable?
Well, Trace, I don't really see the goalposts as having moved very much. I mean, we've talked for a very, very long time about the basic contours of some combination of security guarantees, a ceasefire that has to hold, the disposition of territory being most difficult, probably something that has to be dealt with over time. All of these things seem to still be in the mix. A little odd, but not surprising for Vladimir Putin to sort of speak as if Ukraine invaded them, about he's somehow concerned about their aggression. But all things considered, I don't see us as being that far different of a position. The president's trying to put a deadline on to get things to move along, but I don't see the fundamentals of having really changed.
It's interesting here, General Tiger, because Zelensky kind of laid this out pretty. I mean, clearly he knows there's going to be some big concessions if he accepts this, but he hasn't yet said no. And what he did say is very clearly put. Watch.
This is one of the most difficult moments in our history. Ukraine may now face a very difficult choice, either losing its dignity or the risk of losing a key partner. Either 28 difficult points or an extremely difficult winter, the most difficult one yet.
I mean, the question here is, you know that he would concede a lot of territory. I mean, that's kind of a given here. But others are saying, you know, the longer this goes on and they settle this thing a year down the road or a year and a half down the road, you tend to lose a lot more territory. What do you think about the timeline and the deal itself, General?
Trace, there was always going to be a trade-off in the end of this war between security, geography, and economy. And I think what the United States needs to do to get Zelensky over the hump on this one is to create the type of ironclad security guarantees that backs up the assumption that Putin's going to lie and Putin's going to cheat. And the only way that you can make sure that this is a lasting peace is for the United States and NATO to weave into this 28-point plan the right type of security guarantees to stop against the lying and the cheating that will come from Putin.
Yeah, it's interesting. Meaning, I'd like to move on, if I could, Steve Yates, to Venezuela, because it's become a big topic. You're talking about Operation Southern Spear. The Venezuelan operation leader, the Nobel Prize winner, Maria Corina Machado, says that this Operation Southern Spear is not about regime change. And she went on to say this. Watch.
From Venezuela, the regime has decided to turn our country into a safe haven for the enemies of Western democracies from other countries, to destroy our country, to destroy our families and our lives, but also to expand these criminal activities from this safe haven, this satellite that is only 3 hours away from Florida.
Yes, Steve, one of the key questions, is this a show of strength by the United States and the Trump administration, or do you see this thing escalating?
Well, there's risk of escalation just because there's always going to be risk when there could be miscalculation. We have a lot of material in the area, but I think the president and his team are looking to do something decidedly different than what they perceive as the mistakes of Iraq and Afghanistan. Mm-hmm. They are very specifically targeting the cartels and the threats that are hitting Americans in our communities and our families, while also creating some of the external forces to amplify the voice that she just expressed, so that internally they see an alternative path forward. That last election was stolen. They do have, I think, a lot of legitimacy and a lot of their claims of grievance. The question is, do they have the material in their own country to bring that about on their own? I don't see the United States intervening to set up a new government.
Yeah, interesting. Finally, I want to play some sound. This is Congressman Jason Crow on his comments for troops to disobey orders. Watch.
To be clear, we are not calling on folks right now to disobey any type of unlawful order. Right? There is very real and deep concern about what this president has threatened to do over and over again. There are 3 more years left of this administration. If we are not talking about this and having a conversation about it and demystifying this conversation, then we are not fulfilling our duty.
The context here, General, is that they said that these military members should disobey illegal orders, but they never ever said what those illegal orders were. They're just saying some point down the line he's got to do it, right, because he's a fascist and a dictator. What do you think about these statements being made?
Trace, I think that video was despicable. It undermines our institutions. It decreases the reliability of rule of law. And maybe the thing that bothers me most is that it decreases the credibility of the professionalism of our force. Our force knows how to follow orders. They know what illegal orders are. And it is despicable to me that they are preying on some of the members of our military that no doubt will decide to disobey an order, get themselves and their units into big trouble for doing so. Those 6 should be censured in Congress, and I thought it was despicable.
Yeah, General Tucker, Steve Yates, gentlemen, thank you both. Coming up, California native